The other challenge that I find bad with our VAT over the period is the inconsistency in policy. And my boss policy advisor will agree with me. Because like Honorable Sekpa said, we had VAT flat rate. We withdrew it. What made us introduce it? What made us reduce it? What is giving us the thinking to bring it back? And what have we done to ensure why we removed it has been corrected? Because now the agitations are still there, should be withdrawn. Because of the uneven playing field, as Honorable Sekpa said, if I'm bringing in an item and I'm charged the standard rate because the person I'm buying from is on the standard rate, I can't claim it as an input VAT. And so the bad thing is that the neutrality is gone, because it shouldn't be part of my cost. Now I'll add it to my cost, and the cost of 100 is now 117.5. That's if I'm not going to claim the input tax. And now I have to add my margin and put 3% on it. And that leads to the other aspect Mr. Amo mentioned, the increasing price levels. You can't run away from it. Because if you look at the point where they were reintroducing the flat rate, I heard the Commissioner General, then Mr. Kofinti, mention when they interviewed him, if the flat rate trader is losing the neutrality, how does he get back his input tax credit? And the response is there. You can claim it from your prices. So that's an endorsement of price increase, or it is being called inflation. And the ugliest part of the second phase of flat rate was the fact that any accumulated input tax credit, you've lost it. That was not proper. And I was not surprised, and I was even happy when Honorable Clement Park and Honorable Dr. Ayini went to court and got justice. That it is my cost. You cannot pass a law with retrospective effect under Article 107B of the Constitution. I have incurred it. It's mine. Give it to me. And it wasn't difficult. It shouldn't have landed in court if we could judge and agree that policy-wise, practically, legally, it can't be done. But it had to land in court for the taxpayers to be given the right to claim any accumulated credit. That I found a little ugly. And why I'm saying the inconsistency in policies, if you would indulge me, look at the amendments to the VAT Act, Value Added Tax Amendment Act 2015, Act 890. It introduced flat rate. And then the refund account, and then the immovable property flat rate, then the excise books, the exemptions for excise books, pharmaceuticals. Then came Value Added Tax Amendment number 2, Act 2015. 904, increase monetary value for threshold for registration, and also a percentage, increase the percentage for the refund account. Then we come again, Value Added Tax Amendment Act 2017, Act 948, classifying financial services, domestic transport, and then giving further legal backing to the VAT flat rate. Then came Value Added Tax Amendment number 2, Act 2017. And what did it say? Remove VAT on stakes on national lotto. Why am I talking about inconsistency? In the budget, we are now saying we want to go and tax gambling again. So why did we remove it? And that is where I'm talking about certainty in tax policies, which will give us the needed revenue. If we had continued, I'm wondering what would have raised by now. We had the same situation on the small-scale miners. We started with a flat fee of 5, it was removed. So we need to be considered. Value Added Tax Amendment Act 2018, Act 970, that was what revised the rate from the 10 to the 12.5. So you see that the good sides are there in terms of revenue generation, in terms of revenue base and certainty, but then we also have the challenge that Honorable Sekpa mentioned, the multiplicity, the cascading effect of the tax, communication service tax, and I keep saying there is no rule of international law against cascading effect of taxes. But when you overdo it, Then you get all the calls, the demonstrations, the cries, which is what you have to avoid. Because I remember the saying that the best policy in taxation is to ensure you can plug as much feathers as possible from the goose with little hissing. So you tax the people that they are happy to even pay.